Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to share with you guys a couple of bits of information that have come out regarding looking over a host of studies over the last few years on multivitamins, as well as some fairly recent studies. And it seems like we are coming closer to a scientific consensus on multivitamin products. And I'll link those down below. One of them is from WebMD, and the other is just a Yahoo News story discussing some of the same topics. And I'm sure we're going to hear more and more on this in the near future. Now, I want to clarify, it kind of blows my mind when people ask the question of, well, when you say that there's no evidence that multivitamins really work, that it's subject to debate, why do you recommend certain free-form vitamins? And I think people, again, are confusing the fact that when I mention very specific vitamins, I'm not talking about a giant multivitamin mineral with a whole host of different things in there. And you guys have to remember, vitamins is a very, very broad term. It's not just one category of things that you could structurally draw on. They're similar looking substances. Some of them are actually hormones, like vitamin D3. And we know vitamin D3 is readily absorbed orally in isolation, just like other steroids are, like birth control pills, Dianabol tablets. All these other hormones, there are a lot of orally bioavailable hormones. Now, obviously, some of it will get broken down in the process, but we know that enough of it reaches the bloodstream and is utilized correctly that we can supplement it. And we know that there seems to be some benefits for people to supplement it, particularly during the wintertime and other things. It's not what we're talking about. When we talk about these multivitamins, we're talking about a whole host of different vitamins trying to just fill any missing niches in your diet. And what has been postulated by a lot of leading researchers over the years is that they actually, some of them do not believe that we properly absorb and metabolize all vitamins in a free form like that. That some of them seem to need certain phytonutrients and other things found in the foods that we consume to properly metabolize them in the body and for them to fill that role. It has to be taken together in unison, or they need to be taken in those sort of forms, and that just doing it in a free form may not offer any, or may only offer a fraction of the benefits because they're not metabolized correctly. And then we have the issue of overdose, particularly if you're eating a fair amount of food, or you're eating already a diet with a decent amount of micronutrients in it, and particularly the minerals, things like the iron, the zinc, stuff like that. Supplementing those, if you're already on a diet that has a fair amount of them, actually is putting you at risk for health problems or even killing you. So we really have three schools of thought among leading researchers, and that is those who say they're beneficial, those who say they're not beneficial, and those who say they're potentially dangerous. And the latter obviously says you should run like hell from them and not take them at all. So what we're seeing with this research is showing basically that we're getting more data coming out showing they're not really that good. And some people pointed out, well, one of those studies and one of these links says an 8% reduction in cancer rates in that one study. We also have other studies that show no effect whatsoever on cancer. And you guys know what lifestyle factor has the largest effects on cancer? Lifting weights and obesity, in that order. Lifting weights has a 50% reduction in cancer rates for obvious reasons regarding the way we process insulin and IGF-1 and other things when we resistance train regularly. So if you don't want cancer, weight lift. That actually does more than even the best studies on vitamins have shown by a large margin. But the point of this is that it looks like we are coming closer to a scientific consensus saying that, hey, multivitamins may not be useful, they may not be helpful, and if you want your vitamins and minerals other than maybe one or two that you know you're deficient in, because of the nature of your diet, someone like me, I'm pretty much vegan, I need a B12 supplement. And I take D3 because I live in a dark country. I am at zero risk of being deficient in any other vitamin. And so that's what you need to look at. Look at your diet from that perspective. If you're missing one or two things, supplement it, but using these multivitamins as a niche doesn't seem to be effective. And we're getting more research that is suggesting that it isn't. So you really need to be getting these things from foods. And fortunately for us, most of us are active, athletic people. We burn a large amount of calories. So we get to eat more food than other people. So it's easier for us to get the micronutrients we need while still allowing ourselves a little bit of leeway with our food. All right, guys, and I'm sure this will cause some debate. People are going to argue with me on all of this, but I'm predicting that based upon this stuff, we're going to see more and more scientific consensus saying these things aren't really useful. We don't need these multivitamins. They may even be dangerous. And we're going to see the supplement companies paying their doctors to say, no, 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 we still need them. Just like someone did in one of those articles who they interviewed. His line, and it's, if you note, he worked as an advocate for supplement companies who said, no, 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 we still need them because they help prevent cancer slightly. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go.